That's where you should take dominion, rich friend. Okay? See, it's not someone over there. It's not over there. It's right here. Your dominion, your authority is right here. Right here, right here where you put your feet. Wherever you find yourself present and aware. That is where you to take dominion and take authority over.
My name is Vivian Rich. I guide ambitious women to live richer with ease by discovering the freedom to be, family to love, and finances to enjoy and share. I also happen to be a proclaimed outstanding leader by a Florida senator. Now let's get into it.
It is a great day to be rich. Realize I am consciousness happening. Say it with me. It's a great day to be rich. Realize I am consciousness happening. I am Vivian Rich, your host here at Live Richer with Ease, where we inspire ambitious women like yourself to align with your heart, expand your mind, to create a lifestyle you love as you build wealth through business with ease. And today we are talking about reclaiming dominion. So if you have not already, get your pen, get your paper, get your journal, the journey, and we're going to go ahead and get started today. And we're going to reclaim dominion because that's our birthright. That is our birthright. Say it with me. That's my birthright to have dominion. Dominion not only over myself, which is the most important, okay? Not only over your circumstances, but more importantly, over yourself. And dominion means take authority over. And that's based off of Genesis 1:26. For my Bible friends that are here with us today, I want you to really get this and wrap your mind around this here because there was a time, your girl, and we all gonna go through this. Your girl, okay? I had a moment where I forgot my authority. Have you ever experienced that? If you've experienced where you've forgotten your authority, type authority in the chat. Okay, type authority in the chat. Authority, AUTHORITY. I'm going to grab my notes and grab my assistant so we can get into this here today because this is such an important part. Because last week we identified areas in our business where we had given up dominion, we had not walked into our full authority, and we were actually some areas that we can reclaim. So this week we're going to go in and we're going to reclaim them. Okay, is that all right with you? We're going to reclaim that dominion because it's our birthright. And in particular, I had been where I was not claiming my authority, as I shared with you just a little bit. But I'm going to share with you a little bit about a situation where I actually was in real time reclaiming my authority in recent weeks. And so that you can see that this happened to everyone. It's an opportunity for us all. And it's a continuing opportunity. It's not a one off. So a few weeks ago, I had an opportunity to, I was in the middle of something and I wanted to go home. However, I had gotten a request and I ended up going 60 miles away from my home. 60 miles, not 16, 60 miles away from my home. And as I was taking the ride and driving, because I made a commitment, okay? I made a commitment. So that's I honor my word as best as I can in most instances, okay? So because I had made the commitment to actually do this, and so I had 60 minutes one way, okay? Not round trip, 60 minutes one way. And as I was driving, I was thinking, the whole thought, I'm going to kid you not. I was like, oh my gosh, do I just cancel? Do I just tell these people, no, I just can't do this. Because my feelings was like, that's not in the direction I wanted to go. I want to go home. I want to go home. And this is nowhere near where I want to go right now. And as I'm driving, I'm chuckling because I know in my spirit woman wanted to go to the beach, wanted to go. My spirit really wanted to go to the beach. And so I was just, holding the thought, okay, like, okay, on our way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way because I can't just, tell people, no, I'm not going to come. I made a commitment to them. And I'm just laughing in the whole process. And it hit me as I was driving and I started to approach the bridge to cross over onto the actual to cross the inlet, to go into the bridge, to go onto the coast. And any one of you, to go onto A1A, as we call it, that's what it's known throughout the Florida on the East Coast, is A1A. And so the crossing over into onto A1A, I was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. I had to accept that at that moment. And I said, this is where I'm supposed to be. My spirit wanted to be here. This is where I'm going to be. And what we're going to do is we're going to do honor our commitment, and we're going to make a day of this. We're going to make a day of this. And it hit me. And that's when I really knew that the destination, the detour was the destination. Okay. Sometimes we have that in our experience, friends, where we have some detours in our life and so forth, what looks like detours, but in actuality, they are the destination. I can say, for myself, having my children early in life, that was not necessarily the ideal. However, it was a detour, and everything that I wanted to experience up until this moment, I have been able to experience by way of my children being a part of my destination. They shaped and they formed my desires, and also they enhance the life I currently live and the life that I lived prior to, even as I was raising them. They were enhancing my life because I wanted them to have the best. So even if sometimes we as parents, we may not want or we may not do the best by ourselves, we're going to do everything we can to give the best to those babies. For the most part, for most of us now, most of us are going to do that. We're going to do everything within our being to give to those babies what they need and to be able to stand into that and take dominion over where we are. So, even in the midst of having a business and raising children myself, I had to stand in it and take dominion over the detour. Okay. Having children at a young age, being a single parent, and having multiple businesses at the same time. Okay. I didn't think it was a thing. I didn't even think it was that big of a deal, honestly. I just was doing what I felt I wanted to do. Okay. I wouldn't say so much as needed to be done. It was what I wanted to do because I could have stayed at my 9 to 5, my regular corporate field in my corporate job in legal, which paid me very well. I could have stayed there. However, I felt the call to actually be a work from home business mom, which was what I don't even think it was a title or anything like that at that time. But nonetheless, I leaned into that and took dominion over that. And so much as I stayed in there and I was taking dominion, I was given step by step the next step, the next step, the next step. And many of you are experiencing that as you are currently looking at your situation in your life and you're looking at some things from last week that you said, I'm going to take dominion. I saw these things. They didn't feel right. They don't feel like me. I know there's more I want to experience. I know there's more I want to be, do, and have, right? And Vivian, she's always talking about you could be, do, and have whatever you want. And guess what? You can. You can. You can. I ain't back down. I'm 10 toes down on that. You can. However, you've got to be able to be aware. And then you also need to be able to take that authority. And in taking that authority, that means you're looking at the situation and you're in it and you're acknowledging this is where I am. And you call on that power that's within you, call I am. I am. That's your activator to give you the wisdom, the insight, and the growth and the next step that you need to know at that time. Because I started that journey to Cocoa Beach, let's back to Cocoa Beach, and I was not dressed at all for the day or for the occasion at all. However, once I made the decision that this detour was the destination, I actually went inside one of the stores that I'm familiar with. And I walked in and I was able to pick up and purchase, which is a great thing, Dominion, purchase an outfit for it suited for that day. I got the outfit, the full outfit, all the way down to the shoes. Okay, rich friends, all the way down to the shoes. And it was with ease. with ease, and even picked up a lunch too. Okay, with ease. And then I continued on and went to the beach. And shortly thereafter, guess what happened? My phone went black, black, dead, dead. I could not call out. It was hot, but I don't know why it was hot because we was in air conditioning, we're in the building. But anyway, the phone went out. And that's what the phone did because I needed that. My spirit knew that I needed to disconnect. And part of that, reclaiming your dominion, you get to disconnect. You may get disconnected from everyone and everything that you're comfortable with and that you're familiar with. And in that, you will get the opportunity to really engage and feel what is the next step, what is calling you, and hear the voice, that gentle, still, quiet voice that's within, that's guiding each of us. But the thing is, we have so much want that we can't hear it. And we want to be able to hear it. And how we going to hear it is disconnecting. So that detour actually was the destination. And as with our children and with our personal life and where we find ourselves as single parent entrepreneurs, that is maybe a detour. Because some of you may not say, I want to do this entrepreneur thing. However, childcare costs just doesn't make sense. And then, I see all these people making money and doing building a life of their own that they desire and that they really enjoy by not having a regular 9 to 5. Now, it may not be for everyone, but everyone does have a business within you. I do believe all of us have a gift within us that will lead into a business with ease. Now, that may be your detour. And guess what? You may find yourself, it might be a gift or a talent that you already have, that you've been sitting on, and everyone has said, oh, you're good at that. Because I know that was the case for me. And it was easy. Okay. It's easy. Your gift and your talent is easy. And so I got to, lean into it and reclaim that gift. That I am a great mom. I always pride myself on that. I've always prided myself on that. I may not have done everything right, but I'm still a great mom. Okay. I mean, because you get 5 kids, trust me, somebody's going to feel things could have been better. Okay. Someone's going to feel a little slighted at some point, as we all do, because, that's just where we are. But nonetheless, to reclaim the dominion over that situation. I could have sat back and cried and said, oh, woe is me, but that's not who we are. That's not who I am. And I know that's not who you are, rich friend. It's time for you to reclaim dominion over your experience. You may have had a recent relationship that may not have been in the best interest for you, and you've decided to remove yourself from that. And however, there's a lot of clouds of uncertainty, but nonetheless, you've decided to reclaim. And as you reclaim and your I am, okay, and your I am, and you start to hear the gentle voice within and start to move forward and take steps in that direction of the inspiration aligned action, you actually start to become rich. That's it right there. Rich. Realize I am consciousness happening. That's how it all plays out and it works. Most often we're too distracted that we can't hear that small, gentle voice, and we can't see with our spiritual eyes the thing that is a detour being the destination. And sometimes people have gotten hung up in the detour, you know, of the things that's wrong with the detour. I could have said all kinds of things was wrong with me being over there. And I honestly was able to say appreciation. And as I continue to appreciate that, I could make that decision to continue to honor my word, as well as not to feel a lack of time or lack of resources. I just was able to accommodate and hear that gentle voice go here, do this, and just guide me with a flow to make that one of the most joyous days of the month for me. Because I had had a tough month. March was a really different month for me. As many of you may know, my goddaughter passed, and that was a bit challenging. That took me. I didn't realize how much impact it really had, a toll that it had on me, and it's still something, a new normal I'm adjusting to. However, at that detour and taking that route over there, an hour outside, and honoring my commitment to do something an hour away, that was what my soul needed. That was the destination for the day. Okay. So, where you are right now in your business, whatever that thing may be that you've identified, that that you have given your authority to, and you decided, I'm going to reclaim it, guess what? That's fine. Let's reclaim it. Let's reclaim it so that where you stand, everywhere you stand and you put your feet, that's where you should take dominion, rich friend. Okay? So it's not someone over there. It's not over there. It's right here. Your dominion, your authority is right here. Right here, right here where you put your feet. Wherever you find yourself present and aware, that is where you to take dominion and take authority over the situation. And if any of this here has resonated with you, I want to invite you to join us inside of the Live Richer with Ease, the Rich Society, where we go through the journal, the journey, and you're going to get all the prompts here. And we're going to go and we go deeper for those that are in the Rich Society. We go deeper inside the questions, and we have weekly conversations. I call them conversations because we learn through conversations. It's a two-way process. And we have weekly conversations with you regarding the prompts that are in here, but also where you are real time in your experience called life, so that you can live richer with ease. And we also offer additional trainings like this week here. And this week, after this, we later today, and from today to Thursday, we have the setup for success. That is a more structured training with regards to your business, making sure your business is structured for profits with ease. Okay, that is structured to access funding with ease. There's no point of shooting in the dark. Not in this day. There's no point of shooting in the dark. The information is here. We get to take dominion over it, okay? And utilize it for our good. Also, our Rich Society members, they get additional training. It's like dealing with things that are happening real time. There is a huge foreclosure situation in my state. There is a huge foreclosure situation, and there is a huge bankruptcy situation in my state. Now, I am going to teach you from experience how to navigate both of those situations and still take dominion. Okay? Take dominion over that which is yours with grace and with ease. And that training will be on the 25th. It's going to be a Saturday morning training on the 25th of April. And it's going to be a bankruptcy 101 training. And it's not just bankruptcy. Please understand, bankruptcy is called bankruptcy relief. It is a federal relief. So I will share with you information from experience and educational purposes only, so you are aware of what relief is available to you. And if you know someone that is in either of those predicaments, either dealing with a foreclosure, dealing with contemplating bankruptcy, they need to be in the room. Pass this information on to them. They need to be in the room. This will be in layman's terms, everyday terms, okay? So that we can take dominion. We can reclaim our dominion over what is rightfully ours with grace and with ease. Okay, it has to be ease if I'm involved. It's gonna be some ease, it's gonna be some grace. And I know that when we tap into that power of I am within us, we're able to take dominion with grace and ease. All right, rich friends, I am so excited that you are here. And I want to invite you all to definitely visit myname.com. I'm Vivian Rich, your host. I'm Vivian Rich, your host. Visit myname.com and go ahead and join the Rich Society so that you can get access to all of these complimentary trainings that come as a part of being a member of the Rich Society, as well as gain access to events, live in person events that we host every month so that you can live richer with ease. You can have the freedom to be, the family to love, the finances to enjoy and share, okay? With ease. Until next time, I am Vivian Rich, and it is a great day to be rich.